You are listening to the Any Anime Podcast.
All right. Let's go ahead. Let's check it off. Tanner, you got one loaded?
No. I was like, what?
Welcome to the AAP, where we are standing ready, all of us, to give you entertainment.
We are standing anxiously and patiently to hear. Now, Kevin, would you believe me if I just gave you the acronym?
Would I believe you? I'm not sure I understand the phrasing of the question, but sure. Yeah, I'd believe you.
Yeah. Anxiously and patiently.
Anxiously and... Oh, you did it in the spiel.
In the spiel.
Oh, I didn't even catch it. That was good. That was subliminal.
That's right.
Of course. It's not just the director of acronyms. I also have the wonderful coordinator of cringe takes, Mr. Cringe himself, Cade. Say hi, Cade.
I prefer the host of hot takes, if you don't mind. But
the host of hot takes. That's your side business. You're the CEO of hot takes on the side. But you work on it while you're at your desk at your real job. So, like, which one's the real job? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what to call Angel anymore. He's
sauce.
Nah, you're just marketing. He's marketing.
He's marketing.
Yep. He's in the marketing department. Actually, I feel like Angel, not memeing, you would be good in the marketing department because it takes a soullessness to be in that kind of line of work. You know what I mean? It takes a sort of like willingness to maybe not outright lie, but kind of spin the truth. You know what I mean? That's a perfect Angel role.
Bro, you guys are acting like I've ever lied.
He's right. He's never lied.
You're right. How can I prove it? I cannot prove it. All right. Discord just says that the comment was edited. It doesn't say what it was edited from. I consider that a problem. You know what? We should petition Discord to tell us what comments were edited from. Slack does it.
Oh, really?
Oh, Slack will do it. Someone edited something. It's like, what did they say originally here? That's
they let you know.
Yeah. I remember I had a coworker with like a super like they just did a super passive aggressive comment like out of frustration, like impulsively, and then they edited it like a minute later. I read the original comment. I'm like, oh, Katie, you gotta take that down. I think you gotta just delete the whole thing. Just delete it. Can't. You can comment history. It needs to be a thing in Discord. Anyways, boys, we're here for another week of the mid-season review for winter 2024. It's weird because like spring's approaching very quickly, and I don't know. Anyways, this week shows a very, very handcrafted selection. We have Metallic Rouge, The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil, Gushing Over Magical Girls, and A Sign of Affection. We're here to talk about them all, boys. So let's go ahead. Let's start from the bottom. And the bottom show is... Oh, yeah. These are based off the rankings of week 4, because that's when we screenshotted all of these. We have Metallic Rouge. Hands up if you've seen Metallic Rouge.
I have.
Make an audible hands up.
Audible hands up?
Audible hands up.
Hello. Hi. This is my hand. It's up.
Oh, that's what I meant. Just smack your hand on your desk while raising your hand. Metallic Rouge, Studio Bones. As we discussed in the season preview, they're a pretty good legacy studio. My Hero, Bungo, Vanitas, and the such. What did you guys think of Metallic Rouge? Any strong opinions here?
Trash.
Trash, he said. That is a strong opinion.
That is a strong opinion. It's a baseless opinion, but it's a strong opinion. Yeah, Karina agrees.
Now, Angel, did you watch it?
I didn't need to. I already had an opinion.
Of course. Angel, we were at the Bones panel. We watched the reveal together.
Well, let's hear Tanner's take on it then.
Oh my god. He's really trying.
He is really trying. Tanner, what's your take on Metallic Rouge?
I liked it. It was good. It feels very much like Blade Runner / iRobot, the anime.
I mean, they do straight up say Asimov, who is the iRobot guy.
You do be the iRobot guy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I thought it was good. I wouldn't say like it was like super duper outstandingly incredible necessarily, but like I genuinely didn't really have any problems with it. Story was engaging enough. The characters are likable, I like the character design a lot.
The character design is nice. I'm not a big fan of like the robot design necessarily of the main girl, but the actual characters themselves, they all look pretty good. You said the story was engaging enough. What happens in these first 3 episodes, Tanner?
What happens?
What happens in the story, in the narrative?
In the narrative. Basically, humanity has expanded beyond Earth. And so a lot of the story takes place on Mars. And as human technology advanced, aliens came and visited. The first aliens to visit were nice aliens. The second aliens to visit were not so nice aliens. And they wanted to fight. So basically, humanity said, I bet. And they built androids to fight off these aliens. I forget what they were called, usurpers or something like that.
The aliens are usurpers. The robots, they refer to as neons. Yeah.
Yeah. And basically fast forward, I don't know how long. I don't think they say the timeline necessarily.
No.
And the war is over.
Post-war, yeah.
The androids, which by the way are sentient, they are in most ways like the same as humans. They look like humans. They like, they're totally sentient. The only differentiating factor is the Nans have these like circuit board looking markings on them. And the story follows this one girl who at the beginning is just like an assistant to this singer. But you find out that she also is a Nan, but she doesn't have any of the markings.
A special Nan.
Yeah. And or I guess also a big plot point is, they have the Asimov code, all of the Nans, and so they cannot do any harm to humans. And like their whole programming is made so like they have to serve humans. And so there's like a huge like racism thing there, basically, of like some humans treat the Nans, terribly, and they need to, and the Nans need this what would you call it? Basically, it's this substance called nectar to function. But for humans, it gets you like apparently the best high of your life. The best high you could ever have. And so it's like worth a ton, and there's a whole like black market going on with there. But yeah, the main character, Rouge, she's actually hunting down other Nains. Do we know? We don't know why, right?
No.
Yeah. She's hunting down these special Nains called the Immortal Nine, who in many ways seem very similar to her. They don't have the like circuit board looking markings on them. They look totally normal. But they all seem to possess this ability to transform into like this like battle robot sort of like armored form.
You could almost call them, Super Nains.
They go Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Terrible joke, but I love it. And yeah, I mean, I think that's the general plot of the first 3 episodes. If I'm missing anything, do feel free to.
That was pretty comprehensive. I'm not gonna lie.
You asked for what happens. I gave you what happens.
you gave it. You gave it to us. Cade, what's your outstanding opinion on the show Metallic Rouge?
So, I had a lot of mixed feelings about this one. It's beautiful. I'm a big sucker for space fantasy, so all the background is beautiful, all the settings are beautiful. I love it. The character designs are really cool. Again, like you said, I wasn't the biggest fan of the battle armor designs. I feel like they could have gone. Besides the point, I think the best looking one is the Joker looking one.
Joker for sure, yeah.
For sure. And even then, that's not like the best, you know. The story, however, is where I get hung up. In 3 episodes, there wasn't enough to solidify, like, just solidify the story, I guess, you know? They didn't explain why they're hunting down the 10 immortals, right? Besides, I guess, the fact that, you know, the 10 immortals killed people. They haven't explained, you know, the war very much. There's like this, like, there's an entire episode dedicated to, like, explaining the war, and it doesn't really make sense. And I think a lot of it comes down to that they're using the dialogue to tell the story, which is, I prefer it so much more than like a narrator just telling me.
For sure.
However, they're not doing it right, if that makes sense. I just feel like they're missing the mark a little bit. I think there was a moment in the second episode, in the very beginning, where there was like a huge lore dump about the visitors, the usurpers, and the Nains, right? And that was about it. I'm pretty sure. I might be misremembering. I watched this one pretty quickly after our last episode, but shit. I'm trying to remember. There's just a lot of things that like would show up that I'm like, oh, that's really interesting, and then it would just never get explained. For example, the bird, the little robotic bird that she can connect to. It looked like it was connected to her mind. Am I wrong on that? Like she was controlling it with her head? She seems to be able to, like, I can't tell if the bird is like its own little entity that she can just like speak through, or if she controls it directly. I don't think they say necessarily. Because it feels like they implied it when her first bird gets spliced, right?
Right.
The moment it happens, she has this like little mind thing, which is like
Yeah.
So like to me, I'm like, oh, okay. So she like shares the senses of the bird. Okay, that makes sense. Doesn't explain how that happens, right? She gets another one, immediately connects to it, if she is connecting to it, and just like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like where, what is that? What is she, right? Because like if she can automatically connect to this bird, right? Is she a Nayan? Right? Like there's a little bit of miscommunication there if that's what they're trying to go for. If not,
I feel like stuff like that is, at least from my point of view, seems intentional, where they're not trying to tell you right away, like, they tell you, oh, there's these Naans that look exactly like humans, but they don't tell you who exactly they are, right? So is this other girl one of them?
Which is fine, but then they've also made it clear that Rouge is below her
in the company or organization that they work for.
Well, in the third episode, remember she runs off because I forget her name. I'm sorry. Naomi tells her, "Hey, you have to do this. You're a Nayan, and I'm telling you to, so you can't disobey." Which, to me, heavily implies that she's a human.
True. But I don't. Yeah, if I don't exactly remember her saying that, but I'm not saying that she didn't. I just don't remember that part.
That's not the biggest hangup for me, though. I think the biggest hangup for me personally is that it's a space fantasy, right? So the technology is super important, and there's a lot of emphasis on the technology in this, but it doesn't get explained the best. That's why I'm getting hooked up on the bird. That's why I'm getting hooked up on the I don't understand how the nectar is like, so necessary for the Naans, right? But it's apparently hard to get your hands on it, right? Like, that kind of seems, and it seems like there's like it's not like a once a year kind of thing either. It seems like you kind of have to re-up pretty frequently, right? I mean, even on the bus.
As a Nayan, you have to take it every single day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you... It irritates me, things like that, right? How it's so valuable, but you can't but you need it every day, right?
Well, I think it's a mechanism to control the Naans, for the humans to control the Naans, right?
Because in
this resource,
in the first episode, the Nayan actually just fucking dies because he doesn't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
It gets stolen from him.
Yeah. The Naans need it. And and if the humans supply it, that implies, an order, right? That the humans have control of the Naans' like literal life, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if the Naans are being used to do their jobs in this society, right? It makes sense that the humans need them. They're like, hey, we want you to be alive. We want you to not have any days where you're going to be worried. You're going to be like desperate to get some, right? I mean, it seems like there'd be a system in place for those who have jobs, and the one that died did have a job.
Yeah,
and yet there was no system in place for him to get one, right? He has one in his locker, and it gets stolen, and then that's it. I don't know. That also irritated me. But I think another kind of confusing thing is just how fast the setting will change. Like the first episode, they're like in this big city. Second episode, they're in the middle of nowhere. Like this desert area, that's also jungle. and I know they were on their way to the next big city, but like, I don't know. It's just there were a lot of things that weren't like connecting with me. Like they weren't
Wait, I'm just
mashing
curious
together well.
what you don't like about that whole like traveling between cities and there's like the one like patch of forest. Like, what is it exactly about that? I just want you to elaborate.
It just felt like you're going from like different biomes super fast, right? Your entire first episode is focused in the city, right? And then you're being thrown into cold water, right? In the next episode where you just start off, you're in the desert, all right? And then about halfway through, you're suddenly in the jungle. And then about 5 minutes before the end, you realize that the jungle and the desert are literally side by side, and they have this fight in between the desert and the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, sorry, I take that back. You learn that even sooner because in the desert they get attacked by people, and then they're like, "Oh shit, let's make for the trees," and then they turn and there's just a giant jungle right next to them. I'm just like, what? What's going on? So yeah, I mean, there was just a lot of things that just didn't mesh well for me, and I think that was the biggest issue that I had with this in terms of the setting and the plot. Right, those things just didn't really mesh well with me. The art is beautiful, everything about it, the backgrounds, the characters. I love it. I love it, and I'm still gonna pass this one.
Really?
Yeah. I'm still gonna pass this because I'm still interested in seeing where it goes. You know, especially with the most recent episode. There's this like society of Naans who believe that they should rise above the
Asimov
control of the Asimov code, but more importantly, rise from the being under the thumb of humans. Right, they should be treated as equals, and I'm kind of interested in seeing how that plays in. But the more I think about it, though, the more I'm like, I'm not that interested. I just don't know if I'm willing to put in the time. I think is the issue.
Right. I think you both make good points. I think I agree with a lot of what you said, Cade, in terms of like the art being very, very nice to look at. Character designs, especially Naomi. Naomi, total bae. Love her. We need more tan women with white hair. Needs to happen. Just put it
Kevin's trying to make
executive hit.
She's just a lesser Ghislaine, all right? Ghislaine will always be the best tan tan girl with white hair. Because she's also a muscle mommy on top of it.
Yeah. Look. To each their own, all right? I don't know why we're bringing Mushoku into this, all right?
Hey, you talking about needing more tan girls with white hair.
I'm just saying it needs to happen more.
That's all that I need.
You just named one more example. All right? I'm saying we need 10 more examples. Oh shit.
You really pissed him off.
I really, you did. I had to cool down.
Hello?
I didn't think I said anything that controversial.
No, we didn't kick you out.
Yeah, we did kick you out. You just got booted.
Tanner, did you kick me out?
No, I literally have been leaning back in my chair.
So was I. That was weird. Okay.
Did your Discord update by chance?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Your Discord's always weird, Cade.
It is.
What was I gonna say?
Bro, Ghislaine's got enough muscle mass for 10 people, right?
That she does. All right. So here's where I'm at. I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with the individual episodes, but I can't help but feel like there's two things on my mind. So number one, I feel like each episode 1 through 3 are like super disconnected from each other. Like And I don't know where like that consistent narrative like thread is being woven into the 3 episodes. You know what I mean? It's not present like at all. I really think if you told me that this was like inspired by like Cowboy Bebop, and Cowboy Bebop has a lot of episodes that are kind of like one-off, like, this episode is like tied to its own thing, it's just an adventure that Spike and the gang are having. I would say like, yeah, I think Metallic Rouge is kind of following that formula, except for the fact that they are hinting greatly at like a greater plot. But in 3 episodes, there's like it's breadcrumbs, man. It's not much at all in terms of like the greater plot. Tanner, a lot of what you gave in terms of like your story synopsis was a lot of the backdrop. That's all like setting filler. You know what I mean? That's in terms of like the actual plot. I don't think there's a lot. There's not a lot of substance so far. We've got a lot of interesting concepts, but I don't know if they've been played with in the first 3 episodes. In an interesting way. And the second thing I want to say is, I really agree with a lot of what you said, Cade, but I think the wording might have been a little off. It's almost like the show is trying to have an air of mystery, by withholding information. But I think they've done it. They went a little overkill. I know so little that the actions in the episodes just don't really mean anything to me yet.
I think they tried to tell the story from a very natural progression point of view, as in we are the outsiders looking in and they're just living their lives. We just happen to be watching, right? They're not telling us what's going on. They're just living their lives and we have to figure it out, which is fine. I mean, what was the one that did it recently? This Heaven, something Heaven.
Yeah, the Neon Heaven or whatever.
No, the Tomato Heaven one.
Heavenly Delusions this week.
Oh, is that what you said? Okay.
It reminds me a lot of that because it does the same thing where kind of just drops you in. But I think what they did and what they should have thought of, so they stuck us in too early. They didn't give us enough time to get to know the characters a little bit, to grapple with the world that is being shown to us, right? We were given that in Heavenly Delusions, but in this one, from the very beginning, it's just like, all right, you kind of have to just follow along. The plot doesn't stop for anyone. We're gonna keep rolling. We're gonna keep throwing information at you, but it's not gonna be the information you need. Whereas with Heavenly Delusions, it was very much like the first episode really kind of gave you an idea of how it was going down, because about half of it was story build or world building with them doing a drive to the location of the hotel, right? They drove to the hotel. They looted from some of the houses nearby to kind of give you this understanding that the world is broken down, the society is broken apart, and these two are they don't know each other, that kind of thing, but they're working together to get to this one place, that all this kind of stuff, right? But we just weren't given that, right? We don't know why the two main characters really know each other, besides the fact that they work for the same organization. We don't know what organization that is. but we know, we know they know each other from that. But that's about it, right? We don't know anything more about them.
No, I see your point, but I think the Tengoku does two things really well that this show doesn't. And first thing is the action payoff in those first couple episodes, fucking nice. When they make it to like the hotel and that whole fight, like that was fucking great. You know, that was super compelling. And the second thing is that Tengoku, they establish the character's goals. You know what I mean? And even without the information of who they are, we still understand their objectives to a large degree, and we can fill in the details, right? They're looking for heaven, and then like your first impressions, even if they don't tell you right away, your first impressions are gonna be, oh, they're trying to get to a safe place. And then slowly but surely start dripping the feed of like, oh no, they're actually looking for some people, you know, they're looking for clues about blah, blah. But that's all dripped slowly. In Metallic Rouge, they just tell you that they're hunting the Immortal Nine. And that's it. You know what I mean? That's the motivation. And the truth is that that's not a motivation that we as the audience can really get behind this early, you know? Like,
it's not established that it's like revenge or something, right? Because
nothing like that. Yeah.
If they said, hey, you know, the Immortal Nine, or what is it, Immortal Nine? I thought it was Immortal 10. Okay.
It's 9, yeah.
Okay. It'd be like one thing if they, oh yeah, they killed Naomi's family, and Naomi built Rouge to help her kill him. I don't know, just throwing something out, but you know that gives us a reason to be like, oh, okay, this is why they're going after him, and so it's more on a personal level, right? But I mean, this is just very, hey, we're gonna go kill him. All right, cool.
Right. For an organization right now that we know nothing about, and again, like how you withhold information, I think really matters, and I just don't think the way they did it in this show really pushes the narrative in a positive way. So for me, watching episode 3, I found myself lamenting the fact that I think I'm personally not going to pass it. And I'm lamenting it because I respect Bones to such a high degree, and I really do enjoy like the Blade Runner-esque like environments and settings. And again, Naomi's a total bae, but I just can't really get behind this one. I'm not anticipating watching more, you know, and I think that's a big factor in whether I pass or fail something.
You know what? That's actually super fair. I'm not looking forward to watching more. So, yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I'm very upset by that. I really like watching it, like just from a visual standpoint. But yeah, I mean,
look, I'm sure this anime is going to have some pop-off moments because it's a Bones anime. It's going to. I just don't know if it's going to be worth it narratively, and I just it doesn't seem promising. Well, yeah, I think
I'm interested to see where this one ends on the Annie Trends chart.
Oh yeah.
If it climbs the rank, I'll take time out of my schedule to try to finish it.
Sure.
Yeah, as of right now, I'll just keep it out.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. It's a fail for Metallic Rouge.
Kind of wild considering you've passed worse shows.
And Tanner, I think you said you were gonna pass it, right?
I never said whether Cade said he was gonna pass it originally.
I did, and then I changed.
No, I genuinely don't see a reason not to pass it. Personally.
So here's the thing.
I think there's great potential, and the first 3 episodes have been spent. Yeah, there's a fair bit of world building, and they don't reveal a whole lot, but I don't think that that's detrimental by any means.
So
did you watch Heavenly Delusions?
Of course, it's his favorite anime.
Oh, yeah, okay.
of all time. It
What do you
feels
think
like
that this show could do better based on your experience with Heavenly Delusions?
I think they're different shows.
You think that's it? You just think that's it?
I don't think that they're very comparable.
I find them very similar.
Like, we're not searching for a hidden organization. There's not like the universal bad guys.
Oh, we are searching for a hidden organization, right? The 10 Immortals.
Individual people. Why? I don't know. Because we are working for a organization we don't know about, right? We're on the other end of it in this show. And like, first off, hey, it's not like an apocalyptic setting. It's society is still around, right?
no, yes.
It's
and
an
immediate post-war society, yeah.
All the implications that come with that of, classism and things like that, right?
I think you're looking at it too detailedly. I'm talking more of like just from a storytelling point of view.
No, still wouldn't compare it, like, because Heavenly Delusion is two people who we know are like, they've just met mostly by happenstance, and they're looking, and they have different goals, right? And so Maru is looking for I forget what it was exactly. He's looking for a person, right? And then Kiruko is looking for different people entirely, totally related to her own backstory, and their stories just happen to overline within the greater overarching story of the show, right? Just via the plot, right? Whereas in this, they're the two main characters, Naomi and Rouge, work for some organization we don't know about to hunt down these, I'll just say these people that are seemingly sinister, but also you don't really get that vibe from the first one, right? I forget her name, because she was saying she just wanted to sing, right? So then why is she being hunted down? And so, like, I really don't think that I could compare them. Like you can make certain comparisons here and there, sure. And, I am comparing them right now, but I don't think they have a lot of overlap.
So, yeah, I mean that's definitely a plot thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm more talking about just they're both
do you want?
they're both going for this style of storytelling where they're trying to just throw you into it, right? And let the
Sure, yeah,
let the episode tell you, like what's going on based on you have to make your own inferences, right? Inferences, is that
yeah.
So like that's kind of what I'm talking about. That's the storytelling, and so both of them do that, right?
Yeah.
Heavenly Delusions, though, it feels better. Can you think of why?
Trying to compare that, and mainly just because I don't know if it's been a minute since I've seen it, and so like I couldn't tell you if Heavenly Delusion revealed more or not in the first 3 episodes, and I really don't think they did, honestly. I think a lot
of
what?
Like I figured it out. I know it now. I had to think about it a little bit. Because in Heavenly Delusions, there are 2 plot lines.
There are 2 plot lines.
And the entire time you're thinking about how they interact. That's what keeps you going through Heavenly Delusions. You're constantly comparing the two and being like, oh, does this from this plot line connect to this from this other plot line? And you're constantly
delusion though.
It's basically giving you like double the information.
Cade, I think you're just delusional, all right?
Hey, Angel, Go back to watching YouTube or playing games. Go mute yourself again.
No, I think a lot of what you're talking about comes after the first 3 episodes of Heavenly Delusion. Like I'm really trying to keep it as fair as I can with what I remember. And I really think a lot of what you're able to compare to this show comes later. And so like I feel like there's sure, yeah. I mean, I can agree with you on that. Metallic Rouge could drop the ball and fail at this mystery aspect, but I can't say for certain. Just like I think Heavenly Delusion had many points at which they could have made poor like plot choices to push the mystery aspect, right?
So, all right. Let's move away from the Heavenly Delusion stuff because I think we're getting a little hung up on the comparisons there. So,
sorry. It's because I really do draw a lot of similarities just based on the storytelling part.
And I see where you're coming from, Cade.
I think that's it, though, from how I see it.
From Heavenly Delusions, yeah, absolutely. There's no other comparison.
Yeah, that's all we're talking about. So here's the thing, Tanner. You said something that earlier that I want to double back to. You said we have passed worse shows, and I would just like to say, yes, we absolutely have. But those shows, I think, were just more entertaining and engaging than Metallic Rouge. I genuinely believe that, and I think there is a part of me that might be a little biased because I do love Studio Bones and I don't have like the same love for this show as other shows that they have premiered in the last 5 years. But so that's me admitting my bias. But I just don't look forward to the rest of the show. Just straight up, and I don't know if I care to find out. So I admittedly I am being a little harsh on it, but that's my prerogative, and I'm going to stick to it.
I mean, that's okay. I just don't agree.
So Mitch, and that's perfectly fine. Metallic Rouge, it's a fail for me and Cade. It sounded like a pass from Tanner. I don't think you wanted to hard commit. Okay. But hey, Tanner. You could always tell us we're wrong by finishing it.
You're not. That is correct.
That is correct.
I definitely interested to hear what you say.
If you do, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No pressure though.
No. All right. There's a lot of pressure.
The foolish angel dances with the devil. Now, boys, can I just lead off with this? Sometimes I feel absolutely privileged to be on this podcast because we get to watch shows like this one and be able to say that they are absolute dog shit. Am I right, boys? Let's fucking go!
I wouldn't say dog shit. All right. I think they put a lot of effort into this, and I think it shows. But yes, I'm not. This is not a pass for me.
No, I've watched.
Spoiler alert. No, I have as well.
It's not the best. It's not my show, at least.
I think that's where I'm going with it too.
So here's the thing. Okay, so this is a romantic comedy, a romantic supernatural comedy, right? So I will be honest. The only time I laughed was when the bald teacher said something about like the bald brotherhood or whatever. I forget exactly what the line was. He's like, you can't cross the bald brotherhood. I'm like, yeah, oh fuck, that's fucking hilarious. Bald people rise up. And after that, I just
oh shit, I forgot I took notes for this one.
Oh shit, yeah, there you go.
I put a lot of notes into this.
Oh fuck. So it past episode 1, and I mean like the first 5 minutes of episode 1, I don't think I even chuckled again. And then there are multiple scenes. This is a testament to the amount of time and money put into the show. There's like a number of scenes in the intro that are just straight up ripped from the first 3 episodes and slapped on, which is a nice way to save time and cut corners. But I think that's kind of an indication of, like, to me at least, sorry, microphone, to me it's an indication of the level of effort and resources being put behind a show. And I think that about sums it up for me on my feelings of the show. I finished watching it in my car at work on my lunch break, and I was like, wow, I have regrets, I think. I didn't really like it, to be honest, boys. I don't know if there was anything about the show that I liked.
We're watching us change your mind right now.
Sure, hit me.
All right, so I'm having a little bit of trouble remembering everything from this show, so
I think this is
me.
the first one I watched.
So my pros. Shit. I'm trying to remember what I meant by this. I said the the opening. I didn't mind the opening. Opening song went pretty good.
Oh, song's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Song's fine.
I said funny. I think based on that first little interaction with the hair, the bald thing and everything like that.
Yeah.
That took me off like completely by surprise. That whole interaction, I was not expecting it, because first it was, hey, I'm bald and I have an issue with my in my head, my hair and everything like that. And then it turns out it's a wig. I
should mention, by the way, I watched the dub of this show.
You watched the dub?
I did watch the
dub. Why
dub.
did you watch the dub?
So I could, eat my lunch without having to look up too much.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. Well, I said, I was worried the title was just analogous. I don't know how to pronounce that word.
I've heard it both ways.
But them being literal angels and devils adds a lot of potential variety of situations not really found in normal romance, which I can always appreciate. I always like a little variety, I also said it uses the budget well. It cuts back on animation quality for unimportant things, but like the background characters, but then ups the ante for action scenes. Because there were a couple action scenes that actually they did pretty damn well. I was pretty impressed. Given the demon's feeling, like the main character demon, given his feelings towards other demons, his fight against the demands the angel gives him makes sense. And it doesn't feel like I'm trying to remember why I wrote these things, because I'm trying to paraphrase what I wrote to so it makes sense in context. Oh, okay. So you know how the demon, right, is like saving hell, right? Kutsu, right?
That's his goal.
Akutsu. That's the demon. He's trying to save hell, right? And the angel, obviously, trying to destroy hell. Well, the angel points out at a moment, saying that demons typically don't really care about other demons. They kind of just stick to themselves, and as it's explained, getting like lazy and everything too. But considering his attachment to other demons, right? How he still feels responsible for them. It makes sense why he fights so hard against Amane's like, hey, you're going to help me find the other demons. You're going to help me, kill them. I feel like a lot of anime, especially like, trashier ones, would just be like, oh, I don't want to die, so I guess I'll just, join you. No, he fights like literally like tooth and nail. He's like, no, I'm not going to do this. Just kill me. I will actually just, let you exercise me. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, I'm not going to help you. And finally they come to a compromise because he's fought so much. And he's just like, I'll tell you if one's nearby. I'm not going to tell you where. I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not going to help you fight it. I'm just going to tell you if it's near. And I thought that was a very fair compromise. And I thought it worked really well with like his intentions, What else did I write? I just wrote, I love emotional war. I don't remember why I wrote that.
Is it the boxing?
Yes, it is the boxing. I like that. That was good. I like that. My cons. I wasn't the biggest fan of the character design for Amane. I thought the an angel with a death scythe, a giant death scythe. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought the idea was cool, but her as a character, I wasn't the biggest fan. It has a very BDSM feel to it.
Doesn't it?
It does. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Just not my cup of tea. She pulls out a collar at some point, and it's like wet. It's got like it's like hot out of the oven, I think is what she says or something. I was like, what? What are you implying here?
It definitely has some ecchi to
it. And I just wasn't a big fan of that. Luckily, I think it stopped after the first episode. No, there was a little bit in the second episode too. It wasn't nearly as bad, but it was still there. All in all, it's not a pass for me, but I wasn't disappointed for it. Like I enjoyed watching it, but it's not something that I'm like excited to go back to. Like I've watched my 3 episodes. I'm satisfied with it. I'm done. I'm not going on to book 2.
Hope. Now let's hear from the pro, the romantic comedy master himself, Tanner. What'd you think of the show?
What did I think of the show? Oh
wow!
Yeah.
Moving me? Please stop.
No one's moving you, Case. No one's moving.
Doing anything.
What the fuck?
Look, I think your Discord is just because it's always green. It's kind of almost considering you muted. In a way.
I see.
That's what I think is happening, but it hasn't really happened before.
I feel like that's a very recent thing, though.
Yeah.
I feel like it hasn't happened.
Maybe there's something in an update. Maybe. In a recent update. Anyways.
Update.
All right, ITT Tech taco aside, Tanner, you were in the middle of saying your thoughts.
Oh boy, what even are my thoughts of this show? Like, I think it got one genuine, like, chuckle out of me.
Do you remember what it was from?
I really don't remember. But, like, it's not unfunny. But it wasn't enough to, like, really, like, make me laugh. And I honestly, like, it wasn't that bad. When I got the premise of the show, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. But it was better than I thought that it was going to be. but I don't know. It's like the show didn't leave a wildly huge impression. Like I sort of thought it would go in a different direction. I sort of, like Cade mentioned, I sort of appreciated the love is war aspect of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why I said I love emotional war.
But otherwise, I don't know. Like, the premise was all right, semi-unique, but I just feel like it's the story wasn't engaging enough for me to really feel like I wanted to watch more. The characters didn't really get me very invested in them.
That's where I'm at.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just, there's not, it didn't leave a whole lot of impressions on me, but I just know that it was okay, but it wasn't necessarily good in my opinion.
Varying levels of mid, it sounds like.
It's pretty mid
across the board. Yeah. Man, I really, who did this anime? It's Children's Playground. Yeah, they haven't done a whole lot. Tanner, did you like Citrus? Is that a show that you liked?
Citrus.
Claudia fucking hated it.
That one.
Okay. Yeah, if I had to say one final thing about The Foolish Angel, I think part of it for me is it was so overly cheesy that I could never buy in. And the boxing scene, I think, is a perfect example of that, where I don't think it was particularly clever, and those boxing scenes were like super long, relative to like what was happening in reality, and I was just like, I'm just like out of it, you know what I mean? Just a complete wash over me. Yeah, I don't know. Not a pass for Kevo. What about you guys?
No, not a pass.
It's a nay pass. Mr. Kate?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. All right. Tight.
I had my fun with it. I'm good.
Kate, I wish I had as much fun as you did with this one.
I mean,
all right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Gushing Over Magical Girls.
Let's go.
Angel's favorite show of all time.
Top tier.
Kate, did you venture into this one at all? Or
I did. I watched the 3 episodes.
Oh, you watched all 3 episodes?
Yeah.
Cade, I stopped at the tentacles, man. I couldn't.
I don't blame.
Now, is it at least a good softcore hentai?
Bro,
look, I can't excuse anything that puts high school girls in situations like that. So my obvious answer is, hey, this is a complete fail. Don't watch this one, right? It's not okay.
Hey. That's where I'm at. I just feel like it was on the wrong site.
I struggle. I struggle though, because I like the idea.
Oh, I do too. I was excited for this one. I really
liked the idea of this one, and I love the character design. Right? Of the main girl. I liked her outfit. I liked her eyes, like how they did the little cross pupils when she goes into her. Love her expressions when she realizes that she's actually enjoying being a sadist. And sorry, I'm the only one who can really talk about it because I'm the only one who's seen the 3 episodes, but she gets more and more in tune with herself. Like she starts realizing that she is a sadist, and she enjoys. She doesn't love the magical girls that she's always fawned over. She likes seeing them in pain. She likes it more when the villains attack them, right? She gets to see that side of them that, she really enjoys. And so, watching her kind of explore that side of her, I think is really enjoyable. However, I can't get past the fact that they did it with high schoolers. If they had done this with just anything else, man, just make them regular like heroes in a fantasy world, right? Just like it's been done before, where it's like you got heroes from this country, right? And these girls are knights, and they're coming to defeat the demon lord, right? And suddenly this one girl wakes up and she's like, "Hey, I'm from the human world. What's going on?" She's like, "Oh, you're a demon now. You have to torture these girls." And I could get behind that, right? But as soon as you bring in the college or the high school, it's not okay. So
Yeah,
I've said my piece. I really liked the art style. I really liked the idea. There's another girl who joins her team in the third episode, and the interaction between her and the main character, very good too. Love that. But yeah, it's a shame.
dude. As soon as that first costume transformation occurred, I was like, "Damn."
Look, I mean,
This is not what I wanted the show to be.
At least it's censored. That's
It
the
was
only reason
censored.
why. Yeah,
It was censored for you.
yeah. Was it not
no.
for you?
High Dive did not censor it.
Oh, that's even worse.
No, there was no like.
Ugh.
There's no like overtly sexual acts or anything, but yeah, no, it was not censored. It's so yeah. Yeah. As soon as
Even
the
more
tentacles,
reason to not watch this one. Please, people, have some self-respect. I know you're all degenerates for watching anime, but there's the line.
I just don't think it should have been on High Dive. Just straight up, it's just a weird show to fucking.
The thing is, though,
I think it's supposed to be a porno.
I can guarantee you, though, it's going to show up on the hentai sites.
Oh, yeah,
they do the same thing with like Redo of Healer. They did the same thing with just a bunch of other shows like that.
Yeah. They exist. They exist. Good times. Good times. All right, let's go ahead to the title card. I think you could easily call it a sign of affection.
I'm gonna go ahead and start with this one because I'm just gonna get my opinion out, and then you guys, the more qualified host, can talk about this one.
We're all equally qualified, Cade. It's
all
okay.
right. So, me, not a big romance guy, especially when it's just romance. Went into this fully expecting to just not like it. Be bored out of my mind, not really pay attention, that kind of thing. I paid attention the entire time. Didn't like fall asleep or anything like that. I enjoyed it. It was good. I think there's a lot of potential for drama with the childhood friend and the new guy. And then of course the other girl, right, who's chasing the white-haired guy.
The ex. They kind of call her an ex almost.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But yeah, like I enjoyed a lot of what I watched. However, this is just a personal thing. I would rather watch Tomo-chan any day over this. And I think that's just a philosophical thing of just like, I'm not the biggest fan of like the romances that are like, oh, love is magical, right? You know, like every moment is this like fantasy. I don't personally subscribe to that belief. Like Tomo-chan, you know, there's this. I believe in growing love, building love, and so you know, watching like Tomo-chan, you know, really fight for it, and then you know the childhood friend from that one, you know, grow and grow and grow and realize that yes, he you know is attracted to her, and you know he that I enjoyed so much more just because I think that's how I perceive love, right? Um, However, for this one, you know, especially when she's like, "Is this a crush or love? Or is it love?" I'm like, "Nah, dude. You can't just decide that, right? That's just not something." But again, that's my perspective, and that's why you know I'm going to say fail, but I am going to leave it to you guys to really decide. I'm not going to keep watching, but I will say, out of all the romance stuff that's been like that, where like love is magic kind of thing, um, this is probably the best one that I've watched. So I'll give it that.
Yeah, and
I've
I think you hit a key description there, Cade, when you're comparing Tomo and Sign of Affection, the difference between like a shonen like demographic romance and a shoujo demographic romance. I think you really hit something on the head, on a nail on the head there, because the shonen romances are usually like faster pace, kind of like, you know, with that sort of mindset that you described, like, and it's so funny because
Are you calling Sign of Affection a show?
like Sean, huh?
Wait, I think I'm confused. You're calling Tomo-chan a shonen?
It's a shonen romance for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought for a second I thought you were saying it the other way around.
No.
Be like, wait, what are you talking about?
Not at all. So Tomo-chan is a shonen romance, and I think it's even funnier because Tomo-chan is a girl. Said the title, but she has to do the like.
Well, I'm just gonna say real quick though. Don't focus on Tomo-chan. I just gave that. I know. If you wanted a better example, look at Insomniacs.
No.
I would love to watch Insomniacs more than Tomo-chan.
I'm only talking about Tomo-chan because I thought it was an interesting discussion, like the difference between like a shonen and a shoujo romance. Because Insomniacs, I think, is also it toes the line. It toes the line.
Yeah, it's not as egregious, but yeah, I think those moments of like, you know, the moments that make your heart thump, you know, they're like remember in Insomniacs, the bus scene, they're waiting at the bus stop. Those specific moments where they're like, you know, God, it's so hard to describe, you know, but it's those moments where like the rest of the show, you know, is just slice of life. You know, they're just, you know, going about their day, but then, you know, they have these personal moments where it just feels like, oh my God, you know, their love is blossoming kind of thing. Those are what I find romantic. Those are the moments that I live for. So, you know, when a show like this comes along where it's, you know, it's almost every moment, you know, is this like magical moment. And I'm not saying there are definitely moments that are more magical. Like for example, he's like, "Let me into your world." I was like, "Whoa, that was good. I like that," because like, she was doing her little happy hopping and everything like that. I like that. I like that a lot. That made my heart go squeak. But yeah, I think it's just a difference in opinion on how we perceive love.
No, I get you, Cade. I just thought there was an open, you know, dialogue about the difference between a shonen and a shoujo category romance. But anyways, talking more about A Sign of Affection, Tanner, you've been hyping it up.
Oh yeah.
You've been talking about it for a minute.
Oh yeah.
Tanner, you have really set a very high bar. I just want you to know, Tanner, that you are undoubtedly correct. The show's very good. Now it's not my favorite romance of the season. I am gonna put that out there. Dangers in My Heart. That's still number one for me. That's oh, bro. Oh my god. But in all fairness, I've seen more episodes of that than I have of this. You know, I've only seen 3 episodes of this, so just time to change. But Dangers in My Heart is just something special for me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to like romance genre, like if a show has something you can relate to in
category,
it makes it way better immediately.
That much more of an impression for sure. So yeah, let's just like hit the ball with the bat.
Let's get the ball off the bat.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the expression, right?
Yeah. I knew that. So yes, it is definitely a shoujo romance, which means that it is geared towards a mainly female demographic. Of course, that does not mean that only women can enjoy it, because I enjoyed it very greatly. There were several moments where I found myself really just like smiling uncontrollably. Because
minute of the show.
so yeah, the Tanner, do you want to give like a quick 3 episode, like what the general plot points?
I don't remember what happened because I'm caught up. Let me go up and see if I can like refresh my memory.
So she bumps into our boy Itsuyomi on the train, and then later bumps into him again because of a mutual of her friend, right? Because her friend happens to know who Tsuyomi is. And
yes. Well, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember really. Yeah, she bumped. Yuki bumps into Itsuomi on the train because of a foreigner trying to speak to her.
Right.
A, in a different language, and B, she's deaf, right? And so she doesn't understand.
She can't read the lips.
And Itsuomi is like a huge travel guy, travels all over the world. He knows multiple languages, and so he like steps in and helps her, right? Nice first impression. Am I correct in saying that Yuki's friend Rin takes Yuki to the bar and that's where they meet him again? Or am I wrong?
I believe you are correct. I believe that is the next time they meet. But I think she might see him at the college or something like that, or learns about his, like where he eats lunch or something. I forget.
You're right, because they do meet at the college. It's the timeline's a little jumbled because I'm on at this point in time. Episode 7 has come out, and so episode 3 is a month ago already, right?
But like the greater plot points, are what matter here. So she meets him again at the bar. I think she gets walked home by Itsuyomi, right? And just like the heart thumps are wild. All right, they're so good, dude.
Absolutely. Cade, I 100% agree with you. The little happy dance she does in episode 9
happy dance
is so
cute. And
everything just like is so cute. And they I think, interestingly enough, they made the formula of this show in a way where it doesn't get old. Like the cute scenes don't get old. Like, because I remember going into this show feeling like, well, if it's just like, scene after scene of like wholesome, which is fine. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. I was thinking, well, maybe it wouldn't stand out as much as I thought it might episode 1. But they did something, because there's not much conflict. There is a little bit. There's some conflict with, I forget her name, but the brown-haired girl,
I think it's Chloe
with Itsuomi.
Yeah, I think it's either Chloe or Emma or something. I don't remember.
It's Emma.
Okay.
And there's a little something going on with Oshi, Yuki's childhood friend. I could talk way more about how all of these develop, but I'm trying to really
but don't
3 episodes.
So I want to bounce off your point there, Tanner. For me, what I think they did really, really well was, yes, there's a lot of cute moments, but woven in between those moments are like these instances of like a slight anxiety. You know what I mean? When a childhood friend shows up and he's talking about how like deaf people should all be just like locked up, you know, and safe, right? That's a moment of anxiety.
Like in prison? What are you talking about?
And then like the scenes with Emma, and then like the scenes where Itsuyomi like goes on a sudden trip, and Yuki's like, "Oh shit! Like, I have where the fuck's he going?" You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, didn't tell me shit. Yeah, there's these moments of anxiety that Yuki feels that I think gets transferred over to the audience. That then, like, when the cute moments come back, there's like that relief. You know what I mean? It's the rise and fall. It's that tension and release action going that they wove in really, really well for me. And I compare this show, the most immediate comparison to me, funny enough, and I might get a little flack from this.
Let's see.
I couldn't stop thinking about the Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten.
Oh, I haven't watched that, so
which I know you haven't watched, but just like the vibe in terms of like, I think the pacing's very similar between those two shows, and I think they have very similar goals, but I think this show has more anxiety woven in, which makes it stand out to me way more.
Yeah, this show, it stays feeling mature, right?
That's also true.
To me, there's a big difference in this between, like, you know, a previous romance that I really, really enjoy is Horimiya, right? That's set in high school, and these two shows are very different vibes, and you can tell it just purely based on the maturity level of the characters in them, and the like what level the character relationships and character like conflicts like that are happening.
Right. So to bounce off the Horimiya part, Horimiya, almost all the characters have, if functionally, zero experience in love, right? A lot of the characters, if not all of them, are essentially experiencing love for the first time. Where Itsuyomi is a very experienced person, right? And then you have the very inexperienced Yuki, who's like, this is clearly like her do she comes off very innocent and you know what I mean, and naive, right?
God, I want to talk about stuff that happens later.
She comes off that way for sure, and I think that is a really interesting dynamic when compared to Itsuyomi, who's clearly, you know, again, like his experience traveled. You know, in the first 3 episodes, they don't necessarily say out loud like, oh, he's like, you know, had romantic or sexual experiences, but they do kind of implied he had a thing with Emma, you know, before. So yeah, you know, I really like this dynamic. There needs to be more college aged anime. That just needs to happen more. I don't know why I guess the reason why there isn't is because I'm assuming that a majority of manga and like anime entertainment is consumed by a younger demographic, so they want to make, you know, the entertainment that appeals to that demographic. But gosh, Sign of Affection is one of those shows that reminds me that, hey, you know what, anime is for everyone. There's no such thing as like as an age limit on anime, you know, in my opinion, because you got shows that are really mature like this one. So yeah, this if someone told me that they liked romance, if they told me they like romance, they'd be like, "Hey, Sign of Affection's fucking awesome."
Instant.
And we haven't even touched really on how fascinating the like Yuki's world as a deaf person is. You know what I mean? That facet is also like explored very well, and seeing Itsuyomi learn off Yuki is really, really cool. And even Oshi like gives some insight into like, hey, like, you know, you shouldn't be scaring people that you know are deaf like that, because, you know, they can't fucking hear you running, they can't prepare at all, you know. And I found myself super engaged with the show. Well, absolutely loved it. Tanner, is there anything else you wanna throw out for Sign of Affection?
I wish I could. So much.
You'll have plenty of time,
Let me tell you, all of the side character development starts in episode 4.
Oh, perfect.
And so, and especially in the most recent episode 7, you see deeper into Oshi's dynamic and his sort of mindset. They never, like we brought this up earlier, they never spend a whole lot of time in one go focusing on those elements, the more conflict side of things. But they do a good job of they explain it slowly, and not in a what was that?
I don't know what that was.
It's like Angel left and came back really quick.
It was not me.
Weird. But either way, sort of sidetracked, but like this show's an incredible feel-good show with conflict, but the conflict, I think what I'm trying to say is the conflict does not detract from the feel-good aspect, like, at all. Overall, I would describe this as like wholesome 100% show.
Well, like I was trying to say, that I don't even want to use the word conflict, because at least in the first 3 episodes, because it's not to that level. You know what I mean? I think like a slight anxiety is really like the exact feeling I felt while watching the show in those like semi-tense moments. So yeah. When I think conflict, I think like domestic girlfriend, you know? I'm like, it's not to that level.
That's like extreme, though.
Is it though? Is it? You haven't even watched it, Tanner.
I have watched videos on it. That's to another fucking level, man.
Sign of Affection. It's an easy pass for Kevin.
Oh, I could have passed this show episode 1.
Honestly, same. That is legit.
Up really bad.
Yeah.
To mess it up after episode 1.
It's like episode 2. By the way, deaf people aren't real people. All right, moving on. It's like, whoa, what a turn.
Because I think I watched this when there was only 1 episode out, and it immediately hooked me.
Yeah. No, I agree with that assessment. Can we just also talk a very, very pleasing art style. I don't know if I'm like that high on the art style necessarily, but it's pleasing to the eye at the very least. No complaints about it at all. It does very good. And then, oh, dude, the happy scene when like the umbrella drops, and then like there's like sparkles and shit, and the shading gets lighter, and dude, it's very artistically done, and very very nice to see. Oh, dude, great show. I know Claudia is raving about it as well for people who might care. And yeah, I think that about does that. Cade, don't worry, your silly little face. We will take care of the.
Tanner stepping in to help.
Yeah.
Whoa! I haven't heard Kevin.
Tanner, step it in.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, that about does this week's rendition of the mid-season review. Let's go ahead and take a sneak peek into next week's. So, first things first, Kate, we're at a bit of an impasse. We got 2 ways to go about this. We can either do 3 shows next week, 3 shows the week after, or we can do all 6 shows in a week, which is just a lot. So I will defer.
Well, what's
to you,
the benefit
sir.
of doing it in 6?
The only benefit is we can talk about other things in between then when we finish and the end of season. It's the only benefit. Really.
The end of season is the episode, not this the coming, but the following.
Mushoku Tensei.
The end of season would be like in the middle of towards the end of March or beginning of April.
So why would we need to do it in one?
We don't.
Kevin just wants to talk about other stuff.
I just want to know if you would prefer it that way.
The only thing I'm interested in or concerned about, I guess, is how we're gonna do the wild cards.
Yeah.
We need to schedule out some time for that as well.
That's gonna happen regardless. We're gonna have time for all of that, even if we do 3 and 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, let's just do 3 and 3 then.
We'll just do 3 and 3. So we'll do. You want to do 2 from the top, 1 from the bottom, or 2 from the bottom, 1 from the top for this week?
We'll do 2 from the bottom, 1 from the top.
So this week we're doing Chained Soldier, Delicious in Dungeon, Hokkaido Gals. No, sorry, Villainess Level 99. It's Kate's favorite. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord.
Damn. For a second there, I thought you were going to name all shows that I
had somehow watched.
Have already watched, and I was like, well, no way.
No, I accidentally did not scroll high enough when I misspoke. But those will be our 3 shows for next week. Chained Soldier, Delicious in Dungeon, Villainous Level 99. Boys, as usual, this has been a very, very good mid-season review. A quick question. Angel, do you plan on watching any of the shows that I had listed just now?
Maybe. Post them.
Have you not? Wait, post them. My man's not listening. This guy.
Bro, not only am I listening, I am zoned in, all right?
Oh, yeah.
In, huh?
He's zoned in. I can already tell.
Did you watch any of the shows?
No, he did not.
You're doing yourself a disservice with Sign of Affection.
I do plan on watching it. It's just more of a end of season kind of thing,
Like I could forgive you for everything else.
Wow. Okay.
It's a binge watch kind of thing.
Angel?
All right.
You're gonna get one hell of a fucking experience.
Damn it, Tanner. There is such a thing as overhyping.
No, you know that I'm hype.
Yes, I know you're
down my hype, Kevin. You can't
right.
bring me down.
I'm not trying to bring you down. All right.
I just don't know what this show would be like to watch straight, because I've been watching it weekly. I wish I could be an angel.
Kevin, I've already watched the number 8, by the way.
You've already watched Villainous Level 99?
Yeah, I already watched it.
That's wild to me. Are you gonna watch Delicious in Dungeon at least?
Yes, I already watched episode 1.
Ah, perfect. And I know you're excited for Chain Soldier. Come on.
I have also already watched that.
Hey, yo, let's go.
Let's fucking go. Clean sweep for next week, boys. Let's go.
You know what? I will put in the effort to watch Villainess Level 99 just so that we all will have watched all of them.
The only reason I watched it is because I read
First time in any anime podcast history, all 4 of us watched all the shows for that week.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say Mushoku, and then I realized.
Hey, yo,
literally,
didn't watch it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I've definitely watched it. No, I have not. I haven't watched a single episode of Mushoku. I will one day.
Yeah.
But
Tanner's just, he's building up that the backlog.
Yeah. He's just saucing it up,
I've got a hell of a backlog.
Well, boys, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Does anyone want to talk about any anime that are not currently, airing that they've watched recently? Anything of that nature?
Half of SSSS Gridman.
Oh, that's right. You did tell me that. Mm-hmm. Tanner, how is that?
I like it. I like all the parts that are not focusing on the mecha fights.
Interesting.
I know it's a mecha anime. However, I much prefer all of the bits that are not the mecha stuff. I way prefer all of the character interactions. Because to me, all the mecha feels very like I'm trying to think of the word and it's just escaping me, but it feels like if someone said, think of a mecha transformation scene in your head. That's what that style is how this show does it. And I would honestly compare it a lot to Power Rangers. In the mechanisms that it goes through of the mecha portions.
Interesting.
But the character interactions, I really like. I'm not the mecha bits don't necessarily they're not terrible. I'm just not a huge fan of them. But to me, I had heard people talk about this show and how some of the conversations with the characters can feel stiff and things like that or awkward. And then I'd also heard other people say oh, but to them that's a good thing because it feels more realistic to how teenagers would talk to each other. And I would agree with the latter. I would say it makes the characters feel more real. And then that reality is shattered by the mecha.
So I'm actually very interested in hearing if you have Witch from Mercury in your watch list. Are you gonna continue? Are you gonna plan on continuing this mecha grind?
I'm gonna watch Dynazenon after Grid.
Right.
But
the sequel, basically, right?
Yeah. But then, yeah, no, I'll watch it. I don't know. I can't necessarily say if I'd watch it immediately afterwards because who knows? Maybe I'll be mecha animate out for a little bit, right?
Fair enough.
But I mean, I like the show. It plays some interesting parts that I'm curious to see where it goes with those in the next half of the season. Especially when it comes to the antagonist.
Okay. Tanner, let us know how that SSS Gridman goes when you finish it.
I will.
Anyone else have any show and tell?
Nah.
In that case, boys, we'll go ahead. We'll wrap it up. This was a fantastic episode with Kevin, Kate, Angel, and Tanner. And of course, if you want to be a part of this episode, you'll need only reach out. All right? We don't necessarily have a phone line. Maybe one day we'll accept voicemails, but you know what we do have?
It's
Wait a second. If I wasn't afraid of getting spam car warranty calls, I would absolutely put it out there. But I am very afraid of getting spam calls, so I am gonna refrain from posting my personal cell phone number. However, Tanner, let's say people had a inquiry, or let's just say they didn't necessarily agree with our opinions, or maybe they really agree with our opinions and want to give a little bit more of their insight, where would they, want to reach out to do so?
You can find us on social media at Twitter at any anime pod, right? For some reason it never sticks in my head as to which one.
All right, it's very simple, Tanner. It's very simple, Tanner.
It's
any pod.
No, it's not. It's any anime pod. I was right.
Was it any anime pod? Oh shit,
maybe is, Kevin.
Oh, look. This is what happens when you don't go on Twitter.
But yes, feel free to engage with us there. We occasionally post a little tidbit here and there. Kevin, I don't have the password to that account anymore, so it's
well, god damn it, I haven't changed it.
Yeah, but it's buried now in our messages.
Fair enough. Stop sending me smut, and maybe you can find my messages.
I'm trying to think of why I lost the password to it. Because I reset all my cookies and saved things in my browser at one point.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Beside the point, though, if you hate Twitter, you can also find us at email. Maybe if you're a boomer watching this show, that electronic mail, you can find us at anyanimePodcast@gmail.com. Or perhaps you need more than 240 characters. Please feel free to write us a nice erotic fan fiction.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
send it to us.
I wouldn't necessarily.
I'm always looking for good reading material.
Out of my way to ask for that.
I have trash for you if you want it.
Is it called Villainous Level 99?
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, Tanner, that was super well done. You get a little treat, Tanner. You get to do the howl.
Oh, me?
Oh, you.
Little old me.
Little. Stop it.
Wow. Any away.
Yeah, that was good. Very almighty. Very, very all-might-like, some would say.
I was going for a sort of a deep, reporterly, superhero-esque voice.
Well, you did it. You really did it. All right, Craig's got to go.